Okay, so where would you like to begin?
Well, I'll just tell people about yourself. Who are you?
My name is Mr. Ian Von Brala. People usually call me Von, nickname for years and years and years. Um, I've been training with Mark for about what five years now. 5 years on and off. COVID screwed a lot of things up. Um, I do have a condition called epilepsy, which is uh, is something that I deal with on an everyday basis. It is a challenge for people who don't know about it. There's all different types of epilepsy. Mine is kind of weird. It's unpredictable because every day I wake up and it's different. So I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's coming that day. All I know is when it's coming on, and it's the worst. To be honest with you, anybody out there who suffers from this condition, God bless you. And the worst is going into it. The fear going into it is the worst because you know what's going to happen. It's terrible trauma on your brain and your body. A severe seizure takes up to, at least for me, a week easy to recover because your whole body's spasming. Everything's spasming. Everything's going out of control. Your tongue is bitten up. But I've learned from the past, to I have a mouth guard that I wear at night. And a matter of fact, I have a mouth guard that I wear every day that I carry with me. When I'm in social structures, a while ago it was very, 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 very difficult, and it is, and it's getting more easier now. I will get very flustered, and the more I'm close, like you said, it could be a simple haircut or meeting a friend, and in my head I have this fear is creating. The closer I get, this panic, it comes in steps for some people. For me, fear, then you get you get the panic, and then you get the fear, and then if that goes further, then you can go into a an episode. Some could be minor, that you can just kind of just block out. Boom, right? I've had those actually several times. Actually, last summer, as you know, I've been injured a lot
How old were you?
those minor ones. But
How
you
old
don't
were
know
you?
when they're coming. Sorry, sir. Sorry,
How
Mark.
old were you from the first
How
time
old
that?
am I now, or when did I start?
Oh, how old were you the first time this happened?
25.
And what caused it to happen?
Actually, I got into a horrible accident here in Brampton, right on Queen and Kennedy by the old Hooters. I don't know if anybody
Yeah,
remembers that.
everybody from
So
Brampton
I
knows.
was right there, and actually, a minivan. I was the first person at the lights on the red lights, and apparently some lady on her cell phone doing her makeup in a minivan ran me at 90 miles per hour while I was stopped. She was going over the speed limit. My head, boom, pretty much went through the windshield, and then I whiplash in seating position. At that time, I was with a girlfriend of mine, Fiona. God bless you, Fiona. And that after I went to the hospital, and that same night or the night before in bed, I started having seizures. And she was very lovely that she took care of me to a degree, but that took a toll on our relationship. So this could have been a woman that I could have, potentially, married. But I don't blame her or anybody for bailing out if it's too hard. Um, but with a good support team, family and friends, people see through like you in my life, those are the people that understand, right? Like I can be walking on the street and having an episode. People say, "Oh, he's a fucking junkie," blah blah blah. They don't know I'm having an episode, right? So that's why I have a custom made epilepsy wristband,
Bracelet. Yeah.
and it tells me contact numbers and all my medications I'm taking. But training helps so much. Even Dr. Chu, my neurologist, says, and actually he's actually Chinese and he's studied actually Wing Chun. in his early days, and he goes, that exercise is very good. Lifting weights is one thing, but when I met you, you opened my mind. You opened my mind up to a lot of things that I didn't even know existed, and you keep on that. And yes, we have our curriculum that we stand by, or that we're working with, but you add on a lot of add-ons, which I don't, which I love, which is more material, no big deal, because like you said, you're not going anywhere. JKD training is a lifelong thing. It's not, you can't go from 1 to 10. You have to understand it in your mind. You can't all get all frustrated and be like, I don't get it today. Okay, you don't get it today, but you know what? You practice. Once you practice, you will get it, and you have those breakthroughs, and they may be little ones, right? Even like doing a drill on the Mukyong and looking at videos. Like for example, I texted Samson. I said, "Hey, Samson, can you send me your version of the drill novice level 1 on the Mukyong?" So he sent me the video clip. He goes, "It was a while back." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." So I'm like, "Okay, yeah." So I started it. So the way you taught me, I'm like, "Okay, you added on to me, I think something like a bong style, but whatever." I did. I said, okay, it's basically the same, but once you come, I'll show you what I'm talking about. You'll explain it to me. Okay, whatever it is, what it is. But he's a great man, by the way. He is a great man. Even the whole JKD community on the page. Kudos, guys. You guys are support right there. Everybody loves each other. You can be real on that page, and the best thing is the clips of the training videos and the seminars and this and that. This is like reality. This is real situations, reality based. People don't get that. There are so many, at least I think there's so many cash grab dojos, especially kids classes and this and that, especially if you're starting off younger, which I wish I did. I was, in my younger days, I didn't take shit. You know what I mean? But I didn't. In my younger days, I did taekwondo for I think 3 or 4 years. Remember Kennedy Road, John Park, taekwondo.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to go to.
Yeah, Leon owned it, and it was Mr. Marcano who was the sensei.
That was successful. That was there for a long time.
Yeah, but I was never. I was to be honest with you, I was a hothead and a little bit of a dick, but I always stood up for myself. Even like in high school. Remember that bus story back in the day when you were like, I'm like, Mark, don't worry, we got you. You know what I mean? And he was the instigator, and you were like, I'm like, you know what? Don't worry. We got you. You know what I mean? And he was stupid to instigate it, and he wrote the check and you cashed it.
Yeah, but see, I was scared to hit him because
I know
I was only grade 9. I thought people were gonna fuck with me, beat me up, or cheap shot me. So that helped. When you told me, he's like, "Hey, we got your back." All right, that helped, and I never forgot that. Trust me, I never forgot that.
Yeah. It's and now, like, listen, you're at a level like
Enough. I appreciate it, brother, but it's not enough about me, bro. Let's talk about you.
Sure.
What do you have to say about people? Like, here's the thing that I thought about with you, man. During COVID, right? I came back from Chicago for work a week before the lockdown happened. So because I traveled, I already had to do a week at quarantine. So I already had to do a week of quarantine. And I was looking for it. It's only a week. It sucked. And then fucking everything shut down.
Mm-hmm. That to me, that actually, because before COVID, you and I were in a nice flow. Nice flow.
Hold on,
and then see, COVID for me, what COVID did for me was saying, okay, oh shit, I don't have access to you, because you and I do privates. To me, privates make sense because
you got to be in a safe area.
It's not only a safe area. What you get, in a class of 10 or 15, and you have one or maybe 2 teachers. I don't want to be asking the other guy who's still learning, how did that work, this and that. No. I rather do the privates because it's worth the money, number one, and it's just better for me to learn hands-on, because it's not just sparring and learning these techniques. It's the language of JKD is a language, like learning a different language, and the way you train and describe it, you bring it down to a science of what's happening, why it's happening. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. If you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. And like I said, I have, dude, like
Okay, but let me
more
get
than a
back. Let me
hundred,
get back to my point.
more than 100 videos
Again,
that I have
let
with
me
you.
get back.
Sometimes I
Bro,
post some of
breathe,
them.
breathe. Let me get let me get a word in, brother. Let me get a word
Yeah,
in.
you know how I am. You know how I
I
am.
know
I
that's
get
why I'm
it.
here. But listen, I don't want. I appreciate the kind words, but honestly, I want you on to talk to people because you have a fucking amazing story. There are not a lot of people that stay positive and stay focused. And this is to my point that I'm getting to. What I'm trying to say is, I was started COVID a week prior the lockdown happened, and then the lockdown happened, and it fucked with me because I already hated the week, and now and we don't know when it's gonna end. It's supposed to be a month, supposed to be this and that. While I was at home and I was starting to, this shit was starting to bother me. The one thing that clicked was like, what the fuck are you complaining about? Because I was like, man, Vaughn's been fucking having to deal with this kind of shit for a long time.
Oh, I was dealing with a prison in my mind.
That's what I'm saying. But like
The worst feeling in the world.
but you were telling me because you wouldn't leave the home that often because why?
Well, that's see, that's a little bit about agoraphobia. And I remember one thing, and I thank you for this. And I know you weren't talking about me, but remember when we went for that one walk, and you told me the story about the movie about the guy had to climb the mountain. He goes, "Well, if I don't have to cut off my arm, then I'm going to lose, or live, or either survive or die. What are you going to do?"
Yeah, he had to cut off his own.
And yeah, it's like for me at least, it's like conquering a fear, but it's such in the beginning. But when you conquer it, you feel like Rocky after a win. You know
All
what I
you need
mean?
is a
And
little
again,
bit.
it could be something very simple. Saying,
Yeah.
like, okay, you know, it could be something very, very simple. But those little simple things lead to, you can't go from 1 to 10. You go baby steps, and that, you know, you can't, you crawl before you walk. You know what I mean?
When you start doing things and you start seeing small results and you start seeing a little bit of success, that does an important thing. It gives you a little confidence. A
That's
little bit
everything.
more
That's
confidence.
it
Yeah.
means a lot.
And once you grow that shit and you nurture that shit, that's it. There's a lot of people out there that just are scared to fail, so they don't even try. I think that's the worst. And I've been like that
Well, if you
because
don't try, you don't know.
shit.
You know what I mean?
No, but the
But
thing is, like, if you put yourself around people, all it takes is a couple of people to just say, "Hey, you should do it," or I'm like you said, like you did with me on the bus. I got your back. That's all you need. That's all you
there,
need. I think that's such an important thing to have in life, right? And a little goes a long way. And I think people they abuse that.
and here's like adding like the other day I was like I'm like, you know what? I'm having an off day. I'm like, you know what? No, I go. I'm gonna go to Tim Hortons and just grab a chili and a chicken wrap. Um, and didn't want to do it. You know, I felt a little bit of panic. Blah blah blah. You know what? I said no. I'm boom. So boom. Whew, did the walk. You know what I mean? Felt great. Blah blah blah. Got there. Obviously, for some reason, Brampton, Tim Hortons, and McDonald's are sketchy. You know, I don't want McDonald's, but Tim Hortons, and there was a couple of homeless people outside, and customers were getting aggravated, and because they were blocking the entrance, right? So I'm picking up my order, and the guy's banging the door. I'm like, I go, hey, excuse me. I go, just relax. You don't have to yell at the guy. So I kindly tap on the door. I'm like, hey, gentlemen, how are you? You know, hey, how are you? They're like, oh, good. I'm like, do you mind if you just nudge a little bit so we can get out, please? You know what I mean? Like, no problem, no problem. That's okay, boys. God bless you. Have a great day. You know what I mean? And then, matter of fact, I rolled up the wind. I rolled up, roll up the wind to win. I think I won something. I don't know, a free coffee or something. But it was people look at a certain person and just make an opinion. No, you can't judge anybody. You can't judge. You don't know what the hell they went through. You don't know how well of a person that guy, how good of a person that guy is. And you'd be surprised. Maybe you can learn something from that person. It doesn't matter. You have to look. You have everybody has a different story to tell, right? So regardless, boom, did the walk, and then as I was going back to the walk, I'm like, you know what? Boom. I came home. I felt great. I ate. I said, you know what? Good. I broke the fear there. You know, I felt a little bit uncomfortable today, and I went for a little other one because I knew the snowstorm was coming the next day, right? So those little things, those things are awesome. But it's weird, like I said, my condition every day is different. Some days I feel like Superman, and I say to myself, oh my God, if I can feel like this every day, like I told you, I go, buddy, if I were driving, I'd be training with you every freaking day. You know what I mean? Going to seminars, this and that. Unfortunately, I don't have that access, right?
Yeah.
And in this time, it really sucks, and it was hard for me to let go of or get past this, not driving, because it limits everything. Yeah, you have buses and transit, this and that, but you know what? There are sketchy people out there. I'm not judging anybody, but just like you, I do carry protection with me just in case, understanding my surroundings, keeping my distance. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't like, I don't do the nightclubs or this and that, or even if I did, I don't like big crowds. I I try to stay away from all that. And, dude, I own a freaking house, a mortgage, this and that. Um, I'm blessed to have a roof over my head, to have heat in the house, to have food in the fridge. May not be much, but I'm blessed with little things. Even if I had a mansion, when I look around at my four walls, to me it means something to me. I appreciate where I live, and because I made it happen. People are like, my dad's even my brother, or family. How people how do you do it? Because you have to change things around. Okay, boom, I lost my license. Okay, so um, I said, okay, so I get calls every day. I need this done. I need that done. Garage painting done. But I have a lot of contacts with other contractors who does everything from framing, drywall, painting, or even clients always contacting me after I lost my license. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to sub it out. So I have one or two main guys I only use that are professional, and they get it done, and I just get my finder's fee. And there's other ways to work around things. For example, even real estate. I have friends of mine who a good friend of mine, Jake Smith Realty. If you want to look him up, really, Max, he's awesome. Um, last summer, I had a client of mine who was doing an awning, and he was selling the house. And I said, "Hey, do you got an agent?" He's like, "No." So I said, I hooked him up with Jake, and I got my finder's fee. So there's always a way. Nothing ever stays the same,
Yeah.
especially for change, for training. Like there's people out there that are looking at videos and this and that, and especially for you, that's where you come in and adapt and make us learn and put it into the curriculum of the training. Because the original curriculum of Notice One or two or this and that, there's much more elements to that, which I love. But you added on there because you know that you scrap what doesn't work and you keep what works.
Yeah, but I did that because I felt like a lot of the stuff in the added on stuff was still very valuable. But I think what happened was it took too long. Like I wait too long to test somebody because there was a lot of information
There
for.
is, there is, but
But see, that's the thing. Like that information, what I've done is split them into three. So you have your beginner level 1, beginner level 2, beginner level 3, and once you're done, graduate all three, you move into intermediate.
yes, and that's what I love about it. But
I love that
a,
sheet. You
a, a,
have is,
lot of people would bail out sometimes because, and this is why I love your program, is because it's not just JKD. It's you're blending in 5-6 different martial arts into one program, and that's what I definitely love about it. And mostly you uh, the way you teach it is just so proper. And I know that you would never train somebody who would use it against anybody or have a shitty attitude, throw it out the door. I don't train to fight. It's called combative science for a reason. You know what I mean? To understand how does that work? If somebody's going to do this to me, what is the answer to that? You know what I mean? And it's all in the curriculum, right? So For me, it's just like I said, COVID kind of fucked up everything, and a lot of people I know got lazy and this and that, and I don't blame them. You know what I mean? It happened to me. It happened to a lot of people that I know. But now that it's all over, it's good to have a support team and a good and it's a good seafood to train with, because it's part of your life,
Yeah.
or at least my life.
100%. When you mentioned that you had that fear, what was the fear? Was the fear of physically hurting yourself, or was the fear of like what happened to you once you were out? Can you explain that? I don't think people realize.
Yeah, well, it could be a variety of things. You know what I mean? Some days you're worried about bills and this and that, and things are due and this and or sometimes it's just the condition could add to be separate, or it could be a double impact. But yeah, those days you have to you have to the battle and get through. It's like the old back in the day, the old Bruce Lee movie with Bruce Lee, fighting the dragon,
Mm-hmm.
conquering the dragon, fighting the dragon. He
Yeah,
woke
that
up
was
in
Greg in the
panic, and,
Bruce Lee
and
story.
then this is long time ago, and he felt that fear. That's how I felt. I gotta fight this fucking dragon. I gotta fight this huge fucking dragon. You know what I mean?
What did you use to overcome it? How did you overcome it?
I used changing my diet, drinking no alcohol, or like minimize your alcohol big time, because obviously it doesn't work. That doesn't work with your medication. I take my medication on time, doing more walks, getting out there more walks. Training helps, like I said, a lot. Getting all of that out. It just feels great every session I have with you. It's grueling, and I love it. And but at the end, I feel like I feel like $1,000,000. You know what I mean? Eventually, what I want to do upon the years, maybe 4 or 5 years, is like I said, my father is giving the family property in Croatia, right on the Adriatic Sea, and I have two flats there, or well, my father does, two flats there, and a big piece of land to build on. And I would like to, down the road, after 5 years, get to a certain level where to bring your program to Croatia, because they don't have that down there. And what's beautiful is is one of the flats. You open the door, the ship's right there, and the beach is right there. So in the summertime, which would be the prime time, I would be training on the beach. Who wouldn't love to be training on the beach? But
Right.
in realistic times, I would love to even have another little area to teach. But that's my dream, is to, like my dad. My dad goes to Croatia 4 months out of the year. He's like going back and forth. He knows what Canada is. Canada is. I love Canada. He loves Canada, but he knows it's a rat race. And in Croatia, it's different, especially where my family's from and where our village is. It's just, if you go there, Mark, the people are totally different. If you ask them, oh, what time is it? Like, why? For why? What their time? Who cares? You're here now for the moment, living it. You know what I mean? Right? They're just very laid back and very easy going and very loving. Everybody's so kind and nice.
When's the
The
last time you
food.
were there?
The last time I was here was in my 20s. And actually, I just talked to my dad the other day. He wants me to go this year with my sister, because he wants to show me the flats and the land of what he's going to be passing down. I said, well, hey, listen, if I'm not a flight risk, yeah, right. But I have to listen to my body and my health and my doctors,
Yeah.
right, dude. You
Yeah.
don't think I would have to be doing? You don't think I would have to be doing what my dad's been doing for years? That's why my dad's 74. He looks like he's freaking 55.
Yeah.
Guy
Yeah.
gets more women than me. But
Yeah. Well,
but that's the goal. I would love to just go back and forth, like just say, keep a house here, or even or not even or renovate the flats. It won't be too much. There's two flats there, $25,000 each, 50 grand, and they're both attached. Because the one, when you open up to the strip and all the restaurants, all my cousins run all the restaurants, the cafes, the nightclubs. It's crazy. right? Or even like if you want to go on a boat ride or a cruise or whatever, they all take care of that stuff. It's beautiful. But yeah, that's where I want to be able to go, because I know when I know the last every time that I did go, I literally as a grown man came back and I bawled my eyes out and I said, "Wow, it's so different here than down there. I miss that energy. It's like a B12 shot, but just such a relaxing, comfortable place. And when you're there for a while, mandatory. I don't go for no 2 weeks. It's
Yeah, that's
either a month or more, or I'm always open ticket. But my point is this: I want to get to a point that I want to go back and forth,
yeah.
renovate the flats, talk to the family, see what we can do down there. The flats are already livable in, right? But I want to just do a little bit more to it. So, but
It is,
that's down the line, because it's just beautiful down there. It's just like Portugal, just
yeah,
like Portugal,
Portugal's.
beautiful.
I've never been.
The
I've never been
heritage,
to
the
the
food,
mainland.
the family, the love. It's just like, you know.
I never did the mainland, but I went to like 3 islands. It was absolutely same thing. Well, not quite to that same effect, but I absolutely loved it. But I know that if I moved there,
You wouldn't come back.
come back, it would take me a time to adjust. Like because it's gonna be like first month maybe nice, everything's warm, everything's beautiful, and then when shit like settles and it's not the nostalgia's gone, then I'm gonna really see if I'm gonna like it or not. So for me, I would have to spend time. I would have to spend time there. I'd have to live there for like at least a year. I think that's what my dad did. My dad left Portugal. I went to France. He lived in France for like a year.
Oh,
And
so he speaks French.
well, he didn't. That's part of the reason why he left. He's like, I'm not. He's like, I don't want to learn this language. I
Okay.
don't want this language. He didn't like it. He just didn't like it. So when he first came from there, he came to Montreal, and in Montreal, he still was like, no, there's still French here. See you later. So he went to Ontario. But just imagine the difference that my dad has seen. My dad's like 90 years old. So 90 years old Portugal, and now he sees 2023 fucking North America. My
Yeah.
dad sometimes he can't believe shit. He's like, I never thought I'd see this stuff.
Yeah, my dad came here when he was, I think, about 24, 25, and he got a visa from his brother, and without a penny in his pocket, and picked up the painting trade, and made. You'd be surprised. That generation, they're like machines. They,
They got balls, man. Imagine
oh
with
my
like
God, they just don't stop.
you leave everything behind. You have no fucking clue what you're walking into, and you got fuck all. You got maybe like $10 back then. Maybe that's like $100. I don't even know. But you come with nothing, and you like figure it out. Today we have everything on a fucking schedule, and we still have anxiety over it.
Yeah, that's what my father, calls the rat race. That's why you need courage and I need courage. He goes, why do you think I am the way? He goes any other. He goes a lot. A lot of people or European people are very, hardcore or strict. He goes, for me, even for you guys, especially when you guys were teenagers. He goes, especially he goes, me going to Croatia gave me the strength to deal with you guys. My sister was always I have two sisters, one in Calgary, God bless her, and I have my lovely sister in Hamilton, and the girls are always easier, but him and I we were punks, to a point that he said, okay, you know what? He go, okay, you know what? Okay, you got suspended, eh? And you were smart ass, and the principal, he said 4 days, and he said, can you give me 7? He goes, you know what? Those 7 days, he took my ass painting those old school Toronto radiators, scraping in with oil paint with that awkward brush.
Go to work. You don't want to go to school,
But
go to work.
at the same time, he important lessons in life. He goes, if I want that, I want that Raiders jacket. He's like, okay, well, you know what? You raise half of the money, come to work, and I'll take care of the rest. He will never give me anything for free. There's no lesson in that, because if you did that, you're creating a monster. You know what I mean? To always depend on you, and nobody has that right. You have 2 arms and 2 legs. Nobody has that right. And like I said, going back to like when had my license, I was banging out jobs to my content. Because I was self-employed. You know what I mean? I was smart in pick things that were suitable for me. I didn't take on things or deadlines that I could not do because I couldn't do. I was honest with myself, and it was a good business. I was banging out things people were banging out in 8 hours. I would do in 4 hours. You know, one day bang up a living room and a fucking bedroom. Pardon my French. Boom. There's freaking $500 in one day. So that's the shitty thing. When I lost my license, I did lose a big part of my income, but I supplemented with other ways. Like, for example, I have a beautiful house here. I have an extra bedroom. I pimped it out, designed it properly, and I do the Airbnb, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I can't do that, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Even if I had a mansion, to me, empty room is money. That's it. Even if I had a mansion and I was bringing in 10 or $5 a month, I would still have that shit rented out. And it would just go to other things. You have to be smart, you know, especially when you have a house. You have to budget shit. Sometimes you have to sacrifice. And the one thing when COVID hit is that I did like is, okay, I'm done with bars. And if you go back, and then after that year, and you go back to the book and the records, you're like, holy shit, look how much money I'm spending on this. Yeah, it's ridiculous. That can be going to other things, and it has to go to other things in order if you want to survive or what kind of lifestyle you want to live. For me, I'm happy, I'm content, and as years go by, I'm gonna build on what I have. I'm smart. I don't have a huge mortgage on the house, and I haven't touched any equity in it like a lot of people do. No way. No way. You know what I mean? Until that time comes and I make a change. But when I make a change, it's either going to be moving out of here to probably like a place in like Wasaga, Collingwood, whatever. I don't know. When I move out of here, that'll be my last house. And then, like I said, I want to have those the two flats in Croatia renovated. And then when I'm not there, rent them out and hire one of my cousins to be the maintenance person to collect the rent and all that shit. And
rent it out there,
right? So you have to think outside the box.
That's what I was thinking about doing with Jess. I want to buy a piece of property in PEI, put down payment on a house in PEI, and just stay living here. And then
beautiful there.
That out there, let them pay down the mortgage, and then when it's time for us to jump ship from here, we'll move to there and we'll use this property as a rental.
Yeah, exactly. So there's ways people freak out when they think there's no solution. But once you meet proper people in your life that can describe it to you and break it down to you, and if you don't get it, to break it down to you, they can teach you the right way. You know, that can go from training into finance into anything else. But sometimes you have to find the right person. If you find that the wrong person, that 1% will fuck everything up.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why it's so hard.
That's why I'm very limited to who I deal with. Yes, I have a lot of friends and acquaintances, but my main people are maybe limited to like 3 or 4. You and maybe another 3, including family. You know what I mean? I don't need all of that crap. I don't need an entourage or a crew, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my entourage and a crew is my support team. Yeah. Right?
That's the best. That's what it's meant to be, man.
That's what it's meant to be. Yeah. If I have a question or a problem or this and that, why is this going on? You know.
And let me ask you, man. Have you ever had, and if it's too personal, we'll move on. But have you ever had a seizure in public?
Yes.
What was that like? If it was the first time, the only time? Because I don't think people. The reason why I ask is not to kind of put you on the spot, but I want people to understand like what somebody with that condition actually has to go through, so that people may think next time. And, understand that their life, if they're complaining about something and they're being a little bitch about it, they should look to your example, because I don't think a lot of people, especially today, would be doing as much as you're doing and are as confident about overcoming it as you are. And I just think, like, for me personally, I wouldn't know what to think. It would be, I understand the anxiety it would have. I think that. Like, I think if I was constantly out, I would be worried if it's going to happen.
Picture this, like, picture how people don't like, they ask you what's your wish for. I don't like spiders or this and that. Picture that being, picture going through that every day and fighting that off and saying, I got to fight off this dragon or this spider or whatever, that fear. Yeah, it's happened at work several times. Luckily, the clients where it happened acknowledged it, but but I've had injuries. You're on a ladder, one little thing, boom, paint everywhere. Freaking, I fall on my ass, fuck on my back, this and that. There's been a lot of incidents in public. Maybe once or twice in a social gathering, but it was like I remember uh, going to a gathering, but I was smart and I notified the manager saying, "Hey, listen, I have epilepsy. If you see something going on, don't think I'm some freaking nutcase. I'm just letting you know what to do." That helps. But listen, if it happens, I have no control over it. All I can do is not be in denial, listen to my doctors, change my diet. Like I said, drink as less, drink not at all, and if anything, once in a while, that's it. And that's where I'm at. But I'm very grateful and blessed for what I have.
I'm so happy.
Listen, I'm here talking to you right now, and I'm alive. I'm blessed.
That's what I'm saying. But like, I don't know, man. I just commend you. I think that takes a lot of strength for somebody to overcome that, because I've seen the difference. I see it. From the first time I started.
You've known me for a while, so you see me.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm proud of you. That's why I want you to talk about this.
Well, you know what, man? Coming from
people
you,
out there that go through some
that
shit.
means a lot to me. That means a lot to me. That keeps me fighting. That keeps me more confident. That's why I love you as part of my support team. And I can tell you anything. You know me. I'm real with you, man. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think it's that's the kind of attitude, like, and then that's why I get back to that COVID shit, because that's how I felt. I felt like, fuck, this guy has had to endure this shit. This guy's been, in his house more often than I have for years now because of this shit, and I'm just fucking sitting here crying and willing to give up everything.
But keep in mind what kept me busy at that. Well, actually, no, I think COVID was stopped because I didn't have any Airbnb clients. Were all cut off.
I'm saying, whatever little you had was gone too, and you fucking
I'm
already home. That's what I'm saying.
Like, shit. I go again. I go, really.
That's what I'm saying.
I go, God. I go. These boulders you're putting in front of me. I go, fine. I go, fuck it. I'll pick it up, chisel it again, and find my way out.
Yeah. But
that's life. That's the whole part of life. People say, what happens when you die, or what's God going to tell you, or why am I here? You know what he's going to say? To live life, to experience and live life. It doesn't matter. Everybody in any case, situation, this and that. A lot of people have it worse, really, really bad. God bless them all. But I do believe that people who have it really bad and that overcome it, or there's some things that aren't curable, like, for example, like cancer, stuff like that. There's nothing you can do about that. I just lost a good friend of mine a couple of months ago. He was healthy, great guy, gave me a lot of work back in the day. Ate well, cleansing all the time, healthy. 1 year, and this was COVID, and he everything was blocked up for testing, and it started off from an hemorrhoid, which spread into the cancer, which they didn't have time to find because everything was blocked up. And then him being at the same time a little bit sober man, he says no. He goes, screw hospitals, this and that. And within a year and a half, he passed away, and he's a legend. God bless you, Steve Howard, and rest in peace. But you have to appreciate what you have in life and who you have in life, because it goes quickly, right? Life is just an experiment.
I have a regret that I'll take with me to the grave. You know who he is, but I was close with Ryan Lenowette. We were good friends for years, and he lived in Calgary. And he's a friend of Dennis as well. Remember Dennis Gadji?
Yeah, Dennis Gadji, good guy.
Good guy. Still talk to him. He would go out and snowboard and stuff with Ryan and see Ryan. And he would call me sometimes. Sometimes he'd call me while Dennis was there, and kept asking me to come out and snowboard with him. And in my head, honest to God, I was like, yeah, I was mustering the courage to go because I hate planes. But for Ryan, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go, but it's got to be next summer because I gotta let me put money aside for that. The kids are young, you know what I mean? And fuck, he passed, and I never got to fucking go see him. You know what I mean? And it's
When did he pass?
like last year,
Yeah. God
and his
bless him. I've
brother,
had,
and his brother.
yeah, yeah. I've, to be honest with you, even Mark, not even in the past,
Also,
probably since COVID, I probably lost about even 8 or 9 easy from drug abuse and
yeah,
overdoses.
yeah,
Horrible.
suicide.
Suicide, yeah,
And
horrible,
that's what I'm
horrible.
saying.
Like I've trust me, I've felt those. I've felt, and this is real talk right now, bro. I've been there and I felt that, and it's such a thickness of darkness of evil. But
Yeah,
whenever I felt that thickness, and we're talking rock bottom thickness, some some power, God, strength said to me, "No, tomorrow is another day."
yeah,
And why would you do that if you only have one life to live? And tomorrow's another day. It was a presence of him that I can't describe, that fought the evil off and said, "Hey, listen, I know it's bad. I know it's bad, but tomorrow, cry, do whatever you got to do, go through emotions, but tomorrow's another day. Things will never stay the same." And I pray every day for everybody, the good, the bad, the sick, the mental ill,
that's
everybody in the world.
yeah, man. I don't think people realize how much it's like. It's like you have to. It's like God always comes to those who hit a place to where they finally break. And I think that's the
Well,
point. I think that's the point. I think, when people say, and Samson told me this, I think once. I think it was Samson. Sorry, my camera's falling. I think it was Samson, but he said some shit to me, man. It really fucking rung in my ear. If I remember correctly, it was him. But he said, we were talking one time, and he's like, hey, you think God, I asked him, I said, you think God gives you what you're meant to handle? God only, sorry, yeah. Do you think God only gives you what you're meant to handle? And he said, he's like, no, I don't think so. I think God gives you enough to break you so that you understand you need him.
I agree with him because those are all tests,
Yeah, man.
and it makes you stronger.
Because
And
that's when
even
you come to
like
people.
like even the one podcast you did with your one of your first Sifus, who for the whole
Eric,
COVID lost to school and is in the RV. That guy, that dude, that that was amazing. That guy is amazing, and how positive, and how you see how he revert, how all the struggles came into reversing it into positivity, and dealing with the challenge that God has given everyone. One thing is, you have to believe in God and have faith. A lot of
that's
people don't believe in God.
not
You know what I
anymore.
mean? Um,
Not anymore.
I was an altar boy, all of that. A matter of fact, here's um, I, a lot of when I was 11, when my parents were splitting up, horrible breakup, really really bad on the family, and it was Christmas evening mass. So we went to the Christian church, and my dad had this old blue van. The one side opens up, and then the two doors in the back with the two. So it was my turn to sit in the back because my sister, because there was a three in the front. So it was my sister Saskia, my brother Chris in the front with my dad driving, obviously, and it was me in the back. And this was after mass, about probably about 2 in the morning, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, what's going on with my family? My family's falling apart, and I swear to God, I wouldn't lie about this. I look to the left door window, and I see Jesus's face with the crown, with a little bit of tears, a little bit of trickled blood. But the look he gave me said, "Son, you're gonna go through a lot, but you're gonna be fine." I'll never forget the look. It's indented in my head, indented, and it's the power. It's
Oh,
it's 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 an amazing thing. And so we got home. He opened the back door, and I was bawling my eyes out. And in Croatian, he goes, "Što je bilo?" So what happened? I go, "Ja sam vidio Isus." In Croatian, I go, I just saw Jesus Christ. And I cried, but it was a relief at the same time. But the look that he gave me, he says, "You're gonna go through a lot, boy."
Wow.
And every day, it's indented in my head, and it gives me strength.
Oh, I never knew that, man. You never told me that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was it was something. It was something. So for people who are out there who are non-believers, I don't care what you say. I know what I saw.
Man, my faith is, I've find my faith in the last 2 years. I just got baptized, and I'm learning, and I'm learning. I'm reading, I'm learning, but I can tell you something, man. I don't have all the answers. I don't remember all the scriptures.
No one does, Mark.
You know what I mean? Like
that's what life's about. That's
it's
about learning this.
But I actually listen. I actually read it. Like, you know what I love doing? And I've seen the change in my life. Honestly, like, all glory to God. I've seen a change in my life. My life is so much better. I can't explain it. It's like, you know who you are. I know who I was. I know what I believed in, but I still felt empty. And I was just like, no matter what I did, the only thing that came close to filling that void for me was martial arts. And the people I met through martial arts, because they were better than the people that I was hanging out with.
Of course, it's not even that now. Now, Mark, you have given so much back to the community, to your students, to anybody that is in your life.
Right, but before
is a blessing, and maybe that's
hold on. Before God in my life, though, like, I can tell even the way I did that was different. Like, I was worried about building up. Like, I wanted to be an instructor, so I wanted to make sure I knew how to do I was so focused on me, and I didn't fucking think, this isn't for me. For me, when I'm teaching now, the reason why I'm teaching more now is because, like, I don't have that same, I can still exercise and I still train, but I don't have the same commitment. Like, I realize now, like, my priorities are different, man. They're way different. I still love to train, but I'd rather just train by myself at home, or show up once in a while and test whatever I'm doing. I'm not in the class every day. I'm not around it every day, because you know what? It's like, I want to be around my fucking kids. I want to be around my kids. I want to have fun with my kids. I want to make them have more time, and you know what I mean? Be around more for as a husband. I want to take care of my family, because the thing with COVID showed me what matters. Mm-hmm. And if you whatever you put in, whatever, you're going to get fruit from that. So if you're investing in just yourself, that's great, but it's not the same return as if you invest in everybody around you, because then they want to give you back. They're good with you. You have a relationship with them. If you just work on you, but you don't give a fuck about anybody else, when you get to the top and you made it and you reach your achievement, there's nobody going to be there to clap for you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, you know what? I've trained. I love martial arts. I love doing arts that I feel awkward in. Like, I go do capoeira sometimes. I suck, but I fucking love it. It's so fun.
From the videos I've seen, my friend.
Oh, you're
talented. Dude, you're talented in many ways. You're sculpting.
Yeah, but that's because you're not seeing the guys. But that's because you're not seeing the guys at the capoeira school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I know there's levels to this shit. And I used to care about that, but now it's like, I don't care about that shit. I know there's better. I know there's worse. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I'm just having fun. I'm doing my fucking
beautiful. Thing. So that takes a load off your shoulder right there. Like, fuck,
bro, it's incredible. But I wouldn't until I had God in my life, because I couldn't fucking.
You were putting too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, but that's because everybody. See, when we grow up, we have these traumas from childhood. Things happen to us, like things like happened to you, Vaughn. If you didn't have a strong sense, if you didn't have that vision from God, if you didn't have that communication with God or had that faith in God,
Family,
imagine,
and especially family, and
imagine where you
proper
wouldn't be.
friends.
Imagine where you would be. Imagine how different this conversation would be if we were having it.
Yeah, yeah, it
You know what I
would be.
mean?
It would be. Yeah, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be nice.
So when people make fun of people, when people make fun of people about being religious, because nowadays it's like it's a joke, you know. You tell them, "Oh, you still believe in that?" It's like believing in Santa Claus. Then, but I'm telling
And
you
let me
something.
stop you there, Mark. For example, so he, about I'll probably say about okay, before the frigate closed down here in Brampton.
On
So
Queen,
I was sitting there. I was sitting there one day on the patio. You know what I mean? Not screwed. I have the day off or whatever. I'm just gonna just enjoy a nice sandwich and have a drink. And then there's this idiot, and I'm just sitting there, and he's kind of maybe a couple of feet away from me, and there's this Indian guy with a backpack, going on a bus, and he's like, hey, he's a look, look at that p word. I don't like to say that. Blah blah blah. Get on the bus. They're ruining this and they're raping this and this and that. I'm like, excuse me. I go, who? I go. That's ignorant for you to say that. I go, who are you to say that? I go, you know what that guy's doing? Well, you're not doing right now. He's going to work, supporting his family,
yeah,
and doing what he needs to do. So who the fuck are you to say something like that? I wanted to kick his ass. You know what I mean? So I just schooled him. I said, you don't say that, man. You know what I mean? I go, you don't know that guy. That guy is going hard to work. You know what I mean? And doing what he needs to do. It has nothing to do which religion, which culture, which color. That has nothing to do with that, buddy boy. I go, you should take a note off of him and learn from him.
uh,
You're just a negative Nelly. And I said, I go, you can't learn from people like that. So I just put him in his place. I said, that's not right.
do you find that because you don't spend as much time in bars and stuff like that, that do you see the difference of when you do go there? Because you say you go there sometimes, but do you see how different it is?
Oh
Like
yeah.
because you're not we are around it all the time, so we're starting to get used to it. But somebody who's not around has that interaction all the time. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know. Let me tell you something. I know what you're trying to say. I don't miss it now. Now it's like me looking out, looking in. You know what I mean? And looking at these miserable people bitching or complaining. Either they hate you or they love you, and they're just drinking shot after beer and just they're fucking miserable, causing problems and fights and chaos and this and that. You know what I mean? No, I said that. That. I said wow. I said why would I be why would I want to be around that
It's not
kind of
just that, it's like
environment?
the whole buzz is different now. Like when we
For
were young,
me now, it would be like I said, I would maybe go to a bar once or twice, and I would be to meet a friend to say hello, but not sticking around, not at night. That shit, you get, the freaks come out at night, and you have to know your surroundings. But like you, I always carry something with me. But I always, even when I do go, I make sure that I'm not in crowded places. I know my exits, my accesses, and nationally look around to see, who's sketchy or who may want to potentially do something or harm me. If they want to harm somebody else, fine. They don't harm somebody else. I'll pay my bill. Get the fuck out of here. Like if I walk into a place and it's just a shitty environment, no, I'll just walk out. You know what I
mhm.
mean?
I'm telling you, for self defense, for because here's the thing.
Oh,
A lot of people, hold on. A lot of people worry about self defense, but you have to worry about self defense and self defense.
you want to hear a crazy story
You have to worry about yourself and how you feel before you go to these. Like before you tell your story, explain to people what are the signs that you start to get that make you like, okay, hey, this might happen. What symptoms show you you're gonna have an attack? So if you go out, you
like a
need to
seizure?
listen to that shit because that's a self defense too. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
You
you're
have to
talking
take
about
extra steps to be safe that people don't realize. Like anybody can go out and be aware and stuff like that. I'm talking about you. You got to be aware of your own feelings
yeah. Oh
and
well,
explain
okay.
what those
Uh,
symptoms are.
yeah. See, most of the times if I meet somebody, I always meet somebody there that knows. So if something happens, they know what to do. Let's get out of here. I'll say, hey, listen,
You
I
gotta
need
go.
to go now. They know. Boom. You know what I mean? Right away. Or I'll always have either with somebody or but if I'm not with somebody like on a walk or something, I have my bracelet with my family with my sister's number on it and all my meds. So if something happens there, but yeah. But within the bar scene, whoever I'm with, they know me. I explain it to them, and they understand. And they're like, "We need to go. We need to go." They're like, "Don't worry. Okay, let's go."
Do you start getting like a lightheadedness? Do you start feeling like
Yeah. I start getting
heavy
tingles.
breathing?
First little panic, and then some tingles. Start tingles around the hands and numbness around the face and stuff like that.
You're always clear
And that's when
indicator.
I'll slap a lorazepam under my tongue and say, "Dude, I need to
Yeah, so
go."
that's the red flag.
Or if it's too late, I usually go to somewhere where I know the owner. I would say, "Listen, it's happening. I need this room for a second."
Yeah. And how long do
Right?
they usually last for, bro?
The bad ones are probably about maybe about 3-4 minutes.
Wow, that's long.
Yeah, it takes. Yeah, but those are the bad
That's
ones. But
scary, man.
then there's minor ones through you kind of like, "Hey, are you there?" You know what I mean? Hello, you kind of it's like your soul left your body, then comes right back in. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like you're there, and then you just go somewhere else. Like, I don't know, maybe extraterrestrials are taking me somewhere and bringing me back into my body. I believe in that shit, man. You never know,
Hey,
right?
I don't know, man. All I know is that's that's a long time. That's scary because depending what's around you is going to depend on how much you get hurt, right?
Oh, not even that. Even I can hit my like just if I hit my head a certain way on something, this and
That's
that.
what I'm
I've
saying.
had not even that. I've had many concussions from this that doesn't help. You know what I mean? And they even say even one bad concussion, just like in after 5-6 years, you're gonna have people have problems.
Yeah,
Lots
you
of
become
hockey
more
players, lots of
susceptible.
athletes, boxers. You know what I mean?
I've had one. I've had
Right?
one. Yeah.
I've had like 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's crazy because now you're the more you get them, the more susceptible you are.
Oh, buddy, I broken. I broke my wrist, my thumb, my toes, cracked my elbow. I'm just like, okay, you know what? I go. My pain threshold, my pain throttle is pretty freaking high.
Yeah, I
So
remember. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, so you before you go, like if somebody asks you, "Hey, man, you want to go out today?" You'd be like, "Well, if you felt like that, those signs, you'd be like, nope, I'm not going anywhere today." That's pretty much.
correct. But there's actually, like I said, some points when I don't want to go. Like I said, when I said screw it, I'm going to Morton's. To me, I went to Morton's. It wasn't for me about getting something to eat. It was for me to go and conquer the fear because I'm like, no, I'm fighting the
Yeah,
dragon.
you still wouldn't try to pull that if you were having those symptoms
So
that day.
I put myself in situations on purpose sometimes for me to
Get
to
over
to
it.
conquer the fear.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
And what do you do at home to take your mind off things and just to get away?
To be honest with you, with having a house, I'm always busy, either cleaning the house or now the Airbnb. Now that COVID's on, busy with the Airbnb, and that's the job itself. Dealing with hosts and guests. Um, um, I do my drills in the Mukyong. I have the mats here, and that's why I can't wait. The spring's around the corner, so we can get back into the rhythm again. But the one thing between COVID, and like I told you before, I'm a type of person who needs to be pushed a little. That's why I like doing privates with you because you push me. Um, and that's one thing I need to work on here is to have that little more of a push. Um, so, so it's just about saying, okay, well, okay, well, you have a lot of curriculum, so just start somewhere, and go from there, right? But I wish I had that adrenaline and push like you push me, for me to do a little bit more here. But all that happened, like even after COVID, like even before COVID, yeah, I was doing all the drills, this and that. As soon as COVID happened, I got lazy, and a lot of people that I talked to did too. A lot of people that did jiu-jitsu, they're like, fuck it, it's been a year, screw it, you know what I mean? But no, I'm okay. No. I said, okay, I just got to get back to where I was. So that's pretty much it, and it can be done, and it will be done. and yeah, I'm positive about that. So I'm definitely looking forward to the spring,
Yeah,
and
100%.
and getting back into the flow, especially the sparring and everything. Anything that you bring me, you know me. I am the student.
But before we wrap it up, Vaughn, I just want you to, any last words you have to say for the people watching, any words that you can give to somebody who could be going, who have to deal with what you have or know something.
Yes, I would say definitely don't be ashamed. I was in denial for a long time too. Talk to your family, even a psychiatrist, somebody who you're close to. Talk about it. Don't deny it, so you can get the proper help, um, and have a proper support team. And don't get down on yourself because it's not your fault. It's a condition. Um, and talking. For me, like I said, training helps. And everybody's condition is different, but at the end of the day, we have to fight for our right to live and for the fight to have good health. If you have to tweak things up, your diet, drinking wise, this and that, sometimes you have to do that because it's not working for you. And we're not getting any younger, we're only getting older. So if you're in denial with yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. If you open up, you will get somewhere. It's like I said to you before. I look at myself of who I was. I look at myself today, who I am, and I look at myself who I want to be tomorrow and in the future. And I will never give up. And if I, like I said, if I do problems, I have my people, my support team to talk to. And shout out to Combat Outs and Crew Joey. Shout out to everybody on the JKD page. Uh, everybody's awesome. You guys are all amazing, and God bless you all. And be safe and be healthy, and don't be afraid to talk about things.
Thank you so much, Vaughn. I'm proud of you. I'm happy to be your friend, and God bless you, bro.
God bless you too, Sifu. And
Peace.
like I said, I'm very lucky to have you part of my life.
Pleasure's all mine. Later,
Like
brother.
I said, for me, JKD's not going to go anywhere, buddy.
Later.